Hey, it's Kaufman is Alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book, Batman issue number 2 by DC Comics. This was a $4.99 book, but I got the cardstock variant cover, so it's $1 more, it's $5.99. I got the Jim Lee variant cover here with Scott Williams inking. I really like that Jim Lee drew Batman and Robin here in the same costumes as they're in the story, so you can tell that this wasn't just some previously produced piece by Jim Lee that they have repurposed for a variant cover. And they always put the main cover, the A cover, on the interior page here whenever you buy a variant cover at DC, which I always like. And I really love the costumes in this Batman book for both Batman and Robin, but especially Batman. I love the bright blue and the cowl and the bright blue logo as well. So yeah, I love how Jim Lee also employs the exact same costumes here on the cover. I love the bright yellow pouches too. Always love big pouches on my superheroes. Some cool bats as well drawn in here. So a nice piece there by Jim Lee. And then we got Jorge Jimenez doing the main cover here. And I think I actually do like this Jorge Jimenez cover more, but I did want to get the Jim Lee cover too. And I just love this logo. I've said this before, I think this is my favorite Batman logo they've ever had. They've had some good ones before, but they've also had some pretty bad ones. But I really like this Batman logo. And I love that DC has also brought back corner panels, which is the thing they've been doing recently. Always a big fan of corner panels, so we get a little drawing of Batman and Robin there. And I love the perspective on this drawing. Reminds me of one of those opening pages from issue 1. The story starts out with a flashback to the Wayne Manor with the Batman 89 Batmobile, if you'll notice there. And they got Damian, he's washing the ride here, and Bruce and Tim walk up, and Bruce is going to teach Tim how to drive. Damian's kind of jealous, he's kind of bullying Tim here. And then we flash forward to now, picking up actually right where we left off from issue 1. Actually going back about 5 minutes, where we see this heist take place. The truck driver gets pulled out and shot, and they steal all the goods when the police show up, and then that's when Robin comes. He is able to stop one of the robbers here. We find out that the robber actually is just trying to steal baby formula. Robin's trying to figure out what this is. He finds out it's just baby formula. So we got Matt Fraction doing the writing here, and I guess maybe he's trying to make us feel some sort of sympathy or humanity for this criminal here, as Robin gets held up by the police, and the criminal runs away, and the police shoots him right in the back here. So 2 for 2 in this Batman story of the police being made to look completely incompetent in Gotham City here. And then Robin is like, you shot him. So Robin drops a bat bang, mini flashbang ordinance, it says. I really like that all throughout this book too, just like in the first issue, we're still being introduced to all the bat gadgets, like one page at a time as they come into play. I really like that aspect of this book so far. And Robin starts hopping away here. We see the bat boot, which helps him with his agility and grip assist as he's hopping off of buildings here. And this police officer, this trigger happy bully of an officer here, shoots Robin and actually hits him right in the side there. Really love this panel of Robin with the blood coming up into the blood splatter coming up into his face there. Reminds me a lot of A Death in the Family. And I love this title page as well. This is really cool looking. I love the color on it. We got Robin falling off the fire escape here, the red background with the ink splotches. Really cool. He's even got a little red splotches there to show where he was shot. Robin Rides the Black Mariah is the name of this issue. And Tomio Mori is on colors here. Clayton Coles is doing the letters here with Jorge Jimenez. And as I mentioned, Jorge Jimenez, the artist, and we got Matt Fraction writing this issue here. So we go back to the flashback again on this page. And Tim's having some trouble driving, and Damian just wants him to quit already. But Batman is saying that, you know, he's learning and he needs to remember to breathe. And that's what Robin's trying to do here. He's thrown in the back of the paddy wagon after they shoot him. I guess they don't need to give him any medical assistance or any call for an ambulance or anything. They just throw him into the back of the paddy wagon with a gunshot wound in handcuffs with all the other villains that Robin's put away here. So plot gets kind of ridiculous here, a little over the top, especially the way this officer's acting here. Now, the writer does make the other officer, his partner, kind of the voice of reason here. So he's not making all cops look bad in this issue, mainly just this guy. But he says, "You still gonna rough ride him?" He says, "Are you nuts asking me that? Of course I'm gonna rough ride him." So Robin in the back with all these other criminals, and of course he's driving like a maniac, so they're getting thrown all around in the back. But Robin actually makes short work of all the criminals in the back. We see the bat spikes used here to stop the paddy wagon, and we see Batman appear for the first time here. He goes into the back to check out Robin. He says, "Rough night." Robin says, "Worse for them," and he's the only one moving. So I like that little scene, even though it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of funny though. So the cop, the bad one, comes around the corner here with a shotgun, tells the freaks not to move, and his partner is saying, "What are you talking about? They're on our side." And Batman says, "Police brutality and murder puts us on opposite sides, officers." Then the bad officer says the vigilante. And so we have a little Mexican standoff here. I do like these panels, these like 6 panels here, tell a pretty good story without any words. Got Batman staring at Robin, Robin staring at Batman. See the view of the officers here, and then they both shoot at each other. Batman does his best to try to protect both their lives, but the good officer gets shot in the leg here. Batman's like, "Good Lord, he shot his own partner." Robin tries to stop the bleeding. And then, like earlier in the issue, I thought it made Robin look kind of slow or weak when he got caught by this kind of bumbling officer here. And then again, just very out of character, in my opinion, for Batman. Gets caught off guard here by this officer, and he shotgun blasts him right in the back of the head. Now, obviously, Batman's got some sort of helmet protection on this bat suit, so he's not killed, but he's rattled pretty good. But just seems out of character that both Batman and Robin in this issue get caught by this cop, you know, after hundreds and thousands of Batman stories where they're dodging bullets and, you know, dodging, going after entire criminal gangs. Even in this issue, Robin is able to take out a whole bunch of criminals after being shot. But here they get caught by this kind of bumbling idiot cop. It's kind of surprising and takes me out of it a little bit. I like this panel here of Batman. He's all woozy. His head's kind of back and forth here. And we don't really see actually what happens there in the scene. The scene just kind of ends. The cop apparently maybe dies himself. But we just flash forward in time a few minutes, and Robin and Batman are just in another alleyway trying to get away here. And they get to the Batmobile. And so this is where the flashbacks kind of come into play, because now Robin is having to drive the Batmobile here. Kind of a funny scene here where Robin's like, how many gears does this thing have anyway? And I'm kind of surprised he's never driven the Batmobile before. I haven't read every Batman comic, that's for sure. So let me know if you've ever seen Tim driving the Batmobile before. But it says, Batman says 13. And he's like, well, what do you need 13 gears for? And Batman says, got the 9 standard, 3 quantum gears, then there's the secret gear, 13. Robin's like, secret gear, what does that even mean? Batman says, it means I have the coolest car in the world, now drive it. So both these guys are dying, but they're witty enough to have this little joking conversation about the car. So this is probably my favorite drawing in this whole issue of this Batmobile here. It looks awesome. Awesome looking car. It is the coolest looking car. Then we see the new police commissioner here, Commissioner Savage, show up at the crime scene. He sees the dead cop, and just, you can already tell he's planning his agenda, using this cop's murder for his own political gain here. And we saw in the first issue, he's already putting together a group of military police. So he's saying to all these other police officers here that Batman and Robin are responsible for the murder of this officer. So he's changing the policy and saying that the department's standing orders are now that Batman and Robin are considered criminal combatants and enemies of the Gotham City Police Department. So nothing really new here, in my opinion. This is something done before, making Batman a criminal of the city. So sort of a generic plot to me. Some funny things happen in here, but I really didn't take this issue too seriously at all. And I didn't like how out of character it seemed for Batman and Robin just to get caught like this by this officer. So I really like the first issue of this series. 1 out of 2, I'd say, because this issue I just didn't like all that much. Thought the artwork was pretty good. But really, like I said, this is the coolest page on here, was of the Batmobile, not anything of actually Batman himself. So there's some previews of some upcoming DC books in the back as well. Justice League, the Omega Act special, #1 here. This is a story dealing with Time Trapper, and he's actually trying to help the Justice League now, and he's trying to send Booster Gold to get a message to Superman. But we get this great double splash page in here. This is probably the coolest page in this whole book, honestly, of Darkseid, and as he's disintegrating away, and we see flashes of all these images of the DC universe here. This is Yasmin Putri with Cian Tormey doing the artwork here. So some good artwork in this little preview book. Little in the back here. There's another preview as well, Batgirl #12. And this artwork is by Takeshi Miyazawa. And Tate Bromble is the writer. So this is Batman, or Batgirl, The War of Shadows. Batman Hush 2 as well, we get an ad for that. Chapter 5, which has been delayed. I wanted to bring this up. I did talk about this in a previous video a little bit, but I was kind of confused about how they are doing this. They've got the numbering here for Batman #162, but they've already rebooted Batman back to #1. We're already at issue #2, and Jim Lee has not even finished his Hush 2 story yet. So, is this the end of this run on Batman? When this Hush 2 story is over, is that the end of this numbering, and then we're following this new Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez Batman story? Is that how this all works? Makes me feel like they should have just maybe made this Batman Hush 2 a separate mini-series, although I understand why you want to. I do like them doing a major storyline like this within the main book, as opposed to having a separate book like Marvel always does for their big crossover events. For instance, like One World Under Doom right now is just in its own book, where you could have had a 12-issue, crossover event within the pages of Fantastic Four or Avengers. That's how they used to do it. And, that's kind of how DC still does it for the most part, although they'll have big like crisis events that will have their own books for sure. But anyway, I've been rambling on a bit about that Hush 2. I'm just kind of curious about the numbering. I'm always kind of fascinated by comic book numbering. But let me know what you guys thought about this issue. I was a little disappointed. Definitely did not like it as much as issue 1. I think I will check out issue 3 just to kind of see where this is all going. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And thanks again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. If you like content like this, doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Like the video if you've made it this far. And go read comics.